Okay, this video tutorial I'm going to teach you how to do the Maya fluid candle like this. Alright, so let's get started. I'm going to reset my scene, open scene, candle beginning. Just make sure I delete history and freeze transform. Okay, I'm going to save as a new scene. Just after V2. Right. The light we're going to use is not this one actually. It's not going to use this one. We're going to use a point light. So create lights, point lights. I'm going to make this tutorial hopefully below 20 minutes. So it's going to be a fast game. I'm going to put it somewhere here. Open the attribute editor. I'm going to give it like an orange color. Intensity to 6. And then open the Arnold. Sample you can increase to 2. Radius you can put to 5. Exposure you can put 2. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's see what we get. Oh yeah. Did I give a material? Let me check. I think I have. Yep, tip mat. It's 5. Resize this for a while. Radius 15. Okay. I'm getting weird result. Oh, go back to 0. Slowly increase the value. 0.6 should be fine. 0.3. Okay, now that should fix the problem. All right, let's move on to adding the fluid. Right, so we're going to go to the FX, right, and then go to the fluid, add a 3D container, click the option here. Make sure you turn off the add emitter because we want the tip here to be the the emitter. All right, so with this off, then we click apply and close, and we're just going to bring this up. I'm going to go to the front view. Just going to make sure adjust gonna hide everything here first. Okay, so container properties, this one we're gonna put it into about like 65. This is the amount of the resolution. And then this, let's make this small, 3 by 3, and let's bring this right at the tip. Okay. Okay, so let's then select the container, and then select the container, Control Shift, select the tip, and then go to fluid, and then go to add, edit contents, emit from object. Okay, choose this one. Okay, now if you see this is the tip. If I open this, you see now there is a flame file, a flame node, the emitter node, and this is the fluid container, right? So add the flame node. Let's play and see first how it looks like. Oh yeah, before that, make sure change to 25 frames per second, and then play every frame. Okay, choose play every frame. Only later when we want to do the actual animation and render, we will switch back to the real-time playback. Okay, that one will be later. For now, it's play every frame, save, and let's play and see what we got. Okay, so we have this small puff smoke, right? And then let's make some changes here. So in the flame emitter, we're going to open the basic emitter attribute. We're going to make this a 600 rate, so there's like 600 particles. Actually, rates is firing every second. Okay, not really every second, but I'm not sure how does it count, but it will produce a lot. All right, so then we go down until the drop off. We want to reduce this to about 0.1. Okay, and yeah, so it's going to increase the, yeah, that's it, right? So we move on now to the wait, there's one more here. Fuel methods, we're not doing any fuel, so our fire will not create those, you know, black dark smoke fuel, so there will be no emission for this one. There will be heat and density. Right, so let's move on to the fluid container. Okay, start from here. I think I want to put this to 75. Let's increase that a little bit more and play. Yeah, it will slow down the simulation, but you see it just go up and up, right? There's no stopping because the particles of the fluid particle is not there's no the life is basically, it just stays on until finish, you know, so there's no end to the life of the particles, so we got to do something about that later. Okay, then we move on to content methods. Wait, before that, let's adjust something here. So this amount of the fire is just small here. We don't want all the extra computation on this area here. So what we do is we can make the container auto resize based on the fire. How much space does the fire use? So click the auto resize here. Make sure you turn this on, and that's it. You turn it off. So when you play, you should see, you know, see it will automatically readjust it to the fluid. Okay, so that's another important thing. And then let's move on to the lifespan just now. Oh wait, that's a different one. That's unparticle, right? So let's open the content method and let's see what is available right now. So right now density dynamic grid is correct. The smoke you see there is you know, the density. So if I render this, let me render and play, you start to see Okay, the weird thing is there's a fire there. It's weird. It's usually supposed to be, oh yeah, because there's light here, so yeah, the smoke is getting that color there. So never mind. Let's yeah, so then we go, yeah, make sure density, velocity, temperature must set to dynamic grid. Okay, now when I turn this dynamic grid for temperature, it turns on the temperature function. So the fuel, just leave it as off 0, right? So we do not want any fuel. So this is what we want, 3 of this, density, velocity, temperature, all set to dynamic grid. Okay, so then we can turn off, just hide this, and then go to the dynamic simulation. Things that we want to do is just substep, we're going to put 2, solver, we're going to put 25. This is a sweet spot number. All right, let's play and see. Okay. now you give a bit more detailed kind of behavior. Don't worry about this, we will deal with that later. Okay, so let's turn this off, hide this, and then we go to the content details. So start with density. Before we go to density, we still need to change a little bit here. The damp, I'm going to put 0.15. This is to make sure that it holds down the flame a little bit lower. All right, so when I play, don't see much different now, but there is. Okay, just put that. Again, this value is not really exactly going to be the same as yours, because depending on the size and scale of your model, in my models be this size. If your model, your candle more bigger or a bit more smaller, or doesn't follow the real life scale, it will be different here. So you just need to try, like, use mine value as a main guideline, and then tweak from there. Okay. Then all right, so we can move on to the density. So for the density, we're going to leave this scale to 0.5. Yes. The buoyancy control the speed of how fast the flame is moving. So I'm going to put 5, so it's going to be a bit more higher. So as you can see, when I play, it will move more faster. See. All right, and then we want the particles to die off at certain time range. So flame, the candle flame is very short, it's about around this size, this area, so we do not need all this extra. So we need to add value to dissipation. So dissipation, we want to put 2.5. so now let's play, and then you start to see that it doesn't last that long. So now see, it just kind of like dies off over there. Okay, that's good. Diffusion, now this is one of the important things. Diffusion is blurring out the detail of the fire, so we want to add a little bit, 0.03 for diffusion, and what we get is now something that looks more like the candle fire. Okay, wait, I should stop the player. There's this it's blocking the way, so I just gonna put it up there first. All right, that's the light. The point light is kind of like, it's like a physics sphere physical shape. I kind of block the view. All right, so coming back to the container. All right, we're done with the diffusion, and we're going to put density tension to about 0.2. This is just going to make the flame looks more, add some tension to the fire a little bit. Okay, so let's move on to the next part. In the next part, we are going to adjust the temperature. So the temperature here, going to put the buoyancy, just increase it. There's like two here, the buoyancy and this one. So the temperature is more on the fire. So I'm going to increase this a bit to 4.5 so that it become a bit more aggressive. And then that's about it, I guess, right? Oh yeah, tension. Again, I'm going to put 0.1 for the tension, and that should be it for the temperature. So let's play the simulation again. Right now you can start to see that fire of the candle looking a bit more better. Okay, next one, we are going to adjust. We don't want the flame to just be, you know, straight up like this. You know, normally there's like wind factor, a little bit of wind blowing, it will like move here and there. You know, there's a lot of variables that make it move, sway a bit left and right. So we need to introduce velocity and turbulence here. Okay, so velocity is going to put a little bit of velocity, 0.1, and turbulence I'm just also going to put, it's about 0.1. So let's play and see first. If it's yeah, let's play and see. So if it's not like strong enough, you can increase the strength here. Let's say if I put 1, that would be too strong, so I put 0.2 for the strength. Okay, so now the fire basically doesn't just stay straight up. All right, I might want to change this a little bit later if I need to. The next one, basically it's quite done here. So then we're going to you know, in terms of how the particle behave and move, is quite done. So the next part is how to basically make the visual of the fire looks more better. Okay, so that is where we go to the shading area or shading department here. Let's click here. Now transparency, this one, if I click on the box, is 0.2. I want to bump this up to 0.3. That will make this brighter a little bit. I think I'm going to leave it to 0.25 first. I'll come back to this. All right. Now, if you look at maybe you might not look at this properly yet. I'll come back to this after this for the shading. Let's go down to the color here. For the color, I do not want to see I mean, just want to set this all to just black color, just really black color. Okay, of course you don't see much here, no worry. Let's come back, let's go down to the incandescent here. Okay, so incandescent, we're going to change the color look here first, but the input bias, I'm going to put 0.85. okay, it brings back the light there. Then I'm going to change this coloration here a little bit. Okay, so what I want is, you want to pull this all the way there, and the orange and this one, we're going to make the color actually not this yellow, something a bit more white-ish color, and I'm going to put it like really close to that. Okay, start to look interesting. Okay, going to tone down the orange color a little bit. Okay, so we can close this, and next one, we are going to make this more stands out with the opacity. Okay, so the opacity input bias, we're going to put 0.45. You can see it creates this boxy looking lights, so don't worry about that. Now we're going to change the magic is here, the graph here, so I'm going to click this button here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a graph that looks something like this. So it's going to be brighter, and it's going to be a, you see that? So I'm just going to add a bit of a soft there, and this one is going to, but you see here, the middle here, it's just bright color. Normally candle have a more transparency in the middle here. I'm going to bring this down like so. There you go. All right. Add a bit of this. Okay, so I'm going to close this, and if you want to adjust the color a bit more, you can come back here. You can play with the input bias. Like if you want more, a bit of the orange, you can slide a bit lower. So I prefer it this way. Have a bit of the orange on the outer rim a little bit. Okay, make this super tight. It's going to look very sharp here, but I'll leave it as a bit blur here. Right, cool. Okay, all right, I think I'm happy with this. And then I'm going to come back to the shading transparency. Okay, transparency, try this one just now. So if I put back 0.3, what would that be? It would be about this size. See, the flaming was too big just now, so we'll want to change that in terms of this color here. So it's a bit tricky, right? But render that again. So right now it's 0.4, 0.3. So it gives us this fire looking. I want to tone it down a bit more. So it will be about 0.27. Just adjusting this a little bit. Hold on there. Okay, this quite good. I'll zoom back out and render this again. Let's look of it from far. All right, now just a bit of adjustment that I want to do is, see the bottom part here, I want to make it a bit transparent. So here I'll change to the Y gradient. Okay, and then I'll change the value of the drop off here. And hit the play button here so you can see the kind of rough effect here. So the value must be lower. Yeah, so just want to add a bit of that transparency, maybe 0.3 drop off. Yeah, that is definitely nicer. Okay, I think I want to make that, just bump this up a little bit, just to make it more brighter a little bit. Let's try and play with the slider. Yeah, just to get it to illuminate even more. Yeah, like that. That's nice. So the value for this is around 0.086. So you have to like play around to get the best, right? If I want that orange a bit, I can go and play with the incandescent slider here, just to bring that orange tip here a little bit, right? So then I can bring back the lights. This is the candle light that illuminates, because if there is no light, if I turn this off, you just see this. You know, it doesn't really actually create a strong light, so you need the point light to help to, you know, give the illusion that the light coming from the candle, the fire candle. So click that. All right, so basically that's how it is. So if I zoom back out and let's have a look at it in render composition. So I got my candlelight that look like this. Okay, now if you want to of course for the candlelight the illumination doesn't stay consistent. You do need to animate this light source, right? So like going to the maybe the intensity here, you have to set key and animate it slightly brighter, lower, brighter, lower, just animate that. Then just copy paste or use the graph editor to make the infinity loop, and you all good to go for it. Okay, I don't think anyone have a like moving candle, so that can be shared in a different tutorial, but for stationary this is okay already. All right, stationary candle. To finalize it, you need to once you're happy with this lighting and all that, you want to go well, if you want to see it, yeah, you can see a play blast of it first, but maybe make sure you change it back to real time, save, and then hit the playback. Play blast it so that you can see how it behaves in the video version. This basically will show you the real behavior of the candle. Yeah, pause this. Once it's done, I play it back, I record again. Okay, so this is how it looks like. It looks fine, right? The candle. Then comes the when you want to really finalize it for rendering, you should cache this simulation, fluid simulation. All you need to do is go to ncache, go to create new cache, and then Maya Fluid. So click on that. It says you have to select the container, so select the container, go to ncache, create new cache, Maya Fluid. Right, so now you can see it here, it's caching in. So I'm going to pause again. Okay, it's nearly done. Okay, it's done. So now when I scrub my timeline, I can see it move smoothly, right? So the fire is all baked and cached in the hard disk. So if you need to do any changes, you can go back to ncache, delete the current cache, and then create again. Okay, so because if you do changes now, you won't see any difference. You have to delete the current cache, then do the changes, and then create a new Maya Fluid again. Just one more thing that I forgot to put, just because there's so many goddamn menus here, things to adjust. It's in the lighting, so make sure you turn on self shadow, right? So that will help it in terms of lighting. See if I turn it off. Might not have much different, but just turn it on, right? It will do you good. All right, so there you go. How I get a nice looking candle here, there's a material I use. I turn on the subsurface scattering, so candle does have that kind of milky water subsurface scattering. How to get this turn that off? You need to go, let's say, hypershade, and then this is my candle. All I do is white color, base color is white. Specular, I have a roughness about 0.45 and not too shiny, and subsurface here, put the weight to 1 to turn it on. I didn't change any of the other things here, and that's the result. If if you want to do any changes, you can play around with the scale just to get some different things. So you can even change color, you know, but of course for this candle this is good enough. You can just change the scale here if you want something different a little bit. Right, so that's how I get this nice looking candle. Okay, so that's it for this tutorial. I exceeded 20 minutes, it's 23 minutes, so good luck. Bye bye.